Hi, I'm Jay McClellan, and in this video I'm going to show you some enhancements I've made to my Thor Sanctuary 19P camper van. In the last video I made, I did a walkthrough of the van just after I got it, and in this video I'll show you some of the things I've enhanced and improved. If you haven't seen the previous video, you might want to take a look at that first, so I'll put a link to that in the video description and up above. And now let's take a look at some of the new changes. To the left of the countertop, I installed a folding shelf. And it's basically just a bamboo cutting board. It comes up, it gives us a nice large work surface, and it is also a cutting board as well. It does block the side door when it's up, so we'll need to enter and exit through the front of the van when the shelf is up. But it's really nice having this extra counter space and also a built-in cutting surface. And I installed it using some folding shelf brackets. So these brackets are inexpensive, readily available. I got them at a home center. And to fold the shelf, you just push up here and then it folds down. I drilled a hole right next to the kitchen faucet and installed this soap dispenser. And then there's a bottle underneath that we can get to by removing the top drawer. One problem we had early on was that these kitchen drawers would come open while driving, and so I added another set of magnetic catches underneath. You can't really see it, but it takes a pretty good pull now to open them, and so I don't think they're going to come open while driving anymore. We really only found one suitable place that we could put a paper towel holder, which is off to the right of the countertop underneath here, and that works pretty well, and it doesn't really interfere with the seat next to it. I moved the branch circuits for the microwave and all of the outlets over to the inverter, and so now we can run the microwave on the inverter. It draws about 960 watts when it's operating, so the 1000-watt inverter will just barely run it, but it does work, so we can use it off-grid. I removed the bathroom doors. There were about 80 screws to take out, but the doors are gone. We don't miss them at all, and the bathroom curtain works just fine for privacy. On the post to the right of the bathroom, I made a place to mount these poles. These are for a pruning saw. So I have two 6-foot poles, and I can attach the saw head and make a 12-foot pruning saw. We're going to take this on off-road trails where we might be the tallest vehicle to go through in quite a while. And so having a pruning saw with us should help our mobility a bit to be able to get through some of the thicker sections. I attached the poles by mounting some stainless steel loops and then using these sort of mega reusable wire ties around the loop. So there's a loop on each side, and then they're just tied on. And so this secures them very, very quickly, but it keeps them from vibrating. I can get to them easily. And I added additional loops all the way down, and then also on the inside in the bathroom, I added more of these stainless steel loops. And I can use these for carrying cargo in the shower area. So anything I want to put in here, I can add bungees or ropes or a cargo net and use this space to haul things securely because it's strapped down. I made this wooden shelf to go under the TV in the back. The main purpose of this shelf in the center section is to hold my wife's CPAP machine. So we can mount that there. There's a 12-volt outlet just above, and then there's also room for remote controls and a charging station for our phones. I upgraded the TV. The one that came with it was okay, but kind of basic. And this TV wasn't very expensive, but it's a full HD 1080p resolution television. And that doesn't matter so much for watching TV, but it's much more usable as a computer monitor this way. And so I can sit in back with my laptop and plug into this as a secondary monitor. It also is a smart TV, so it's got built-in streaming services like Netflix, and it's tied to the Wi-Fi hotspot of the van. Right behind the passenger seat, we've got a little floor mat and a place for hiking boots. And then I attached this little piece of gray PVC conduit with a cap on the bottom and a little hole in the cap to drain any water. And that provides a place to store our trekking poles. So it's real convenient right next to the door, but they're out of the way and easy to remove and easy to put back. Underneath the van, I cut off the massive 3-inch dump valve that was on the gray water tank. And I replaced it with this 1.5-inch dump valve. So it has much less protrusion underneath, shouldn't get hit when we're off-roading. It's just a much cleaner option. And I pointed the valve handle straight up. There's plenty of room to reach under and pull the handle straight up. but that really protects it from getting hit. I can attach a garden hose, ordinary garden hose, for dumping using this little adapter, and that's perfectly adequate for dumping gray water. The van didn't come with a spare tire because the generator underneath is mounted where the spare tire would be. So I bought a full-size spare that's exactly the same as what's on the van. And then I have a spare tire carrier on order that will mount on the left-hand door. And that's going to be more convenient. But for now, I made this temporary carrier using an old bike rack. And it's not real convenient. It does, there's a pin I can pull to fold this down out of the way, so it does work. But I'm looking forward to getting the real carrier to replace this. We camped one night in the rain, and we found that if these side windows were open even a tiny bit, water would run right down and inside the window and drip inside the van. There was really no protection at all, and so I added, on the driver's side, I added this deflector. This is actually a sunroof air deflector. It just sticks on, so it's peel and stick. It was easy to install. And this should shed rain pretty well on this side and keep it away from the window when it's open, unless it's a really hard rain. But with the gentle rain at least, we should be able to leave the window at least partially open and not get water inside. On the passenger side, we have the sliding door that opens, and so I didn't want something that sticks out as far as the deflector I put on the other side. And so instead I added these little gutters, stick-on gutters right above each window. It's very simple and inexpensive. It's just peel and stick. And that should deflect any water running down the side of the van away from the edges of the window. We found we got some water coming down the side of the van, even with the awning extended. And so this should take care of that and not add anything that would conflict with opening the door. On the roof, just behind the driver's seat, I installed a ham radio antenna. The antenna is a stubby, so it's only about 14 inches long. And the bottom part it would be subject to damage, so I installed this big black deflector. It's just a piece of plastic that bolts on to the bracket that holds the light. The radio itself is mounted on the wall up above the driver's seat. To power the radio, I ran a power line back to the main house battery, so it's independent of the ignition of the van, and I can operate the radio when we're parked. I installed the faceplate of the radio in the center console, and it's got a cable that runs back to the main radio unit. And then the microphone is mounted down below. And I installed 2 speakers up above. Each of these speakers goes to one channel of the radio. It'll receive 2 different channels at once, and so by having separate sort of stereo speakers for it, we can tell which side we're hearing a signal on it at any given time. Below the radio and above the driver's seat, I installed these wire baskets. This was just a big blank wall here, and this gives us a little extra storage spot. And right now we're using it to store our lightweight rain jackets. Well, those are the enhancements I made so far, and I hope you found some of the ideas useful. We're looking forward to doing some real camping and real off-roading in it now, so we're going to go try out all these enhancements, and we'll post a video and let you know how they worked out. Thanks for watching.